Welcome back, friends. Today we're going to wrestle with a question that many of us face. How do we live out the Beatitudes of meekness, mercy, and peacemaking, while also seeing Jesus, Paul, and the prophets confront people with sharp truth? Are we supposed to be nice Christians who never ruffle feathers, or bold prophets who never hold back? The Bible doesn't force us into one extreme or the other. It gives us a spectrum of faithful responses. Let's begin with posture here, the inner disposition of a disciple of Jesus. Now, the Beatitudes in Matthew chapter 5 give us the foundation. We're called to be poor in spirit, which means humble before God, to be meek, which means to have strength under control, not weakness, to be merciful, which means we don't confront to destroy, but to restore, and to be peacemakers, seeking reconciliation, not endless forms of conflict. This posture guards us because if we confront without humility, we slide into self-righteousness. If we confront without mercy, we become harsh. And if we avoid confrontation altogether to keep fake peace, then we betray the truth. So posture then is humble, it's meek, it's merciful, and it shapes the spirit of our confrontation. Next, we need to clarify the meaning of purpose, why we confront and why we forbear. We confront when the gospel is at stake. That's why Paul rebuked Peter in Galatians chapter 2. Peter's withdrawal from Gentiles suggested salvation required that the law or cultural observance. That wasn't a personality clash between Paul and Peter. It was a gospel crisis. We confront when justice is denied or when the vulnerable are harmed. Think of Amos crying out, "Let justice roll down like waters," or Jesus rebuking his disciples when they try to keep the children away. We confront when sin or hypocrisy is public and misleading others. Jesus calling out the Pharisees wasn't cruel, it was necessary because they were leading the people astray. But scriptures also teach us to forbear. Proverbs says it is a man's glory to overlook an offense. Peter tells us that love covers a multitude of sins. If it's a personal slight or an issue of immaturity that doesn't endanger the gospel, sometimes the most Christ-like thing is to be patient and let love cover. So the difference is this. When God's truth, God's people, or God's justice are at stake, confrontation is what is necessary. When it's personal preference or small slights, forbearance may be the wiser path. Now, how do we actually do this in practice? Paul gives us a guiding principle in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 15. Speak the truth in love. Truth without love hardens people. Love without truth softens people. But truth spoken in love heals. So before we confront, we ask ourselves three questions. Our first question is motivation. Am I confronting out of love for God and others, or out of irritation or pride? The second is goal. Am I seeking restoration and reconciliation, or just to prove myself right? The third is method. Will my words reflect Christ's character, firm yet gentle, truthful yet merciful? Look at Jesus. He rebuked Pharisees sharply in Matthew 23, but with Nicodemus in John chapter 3, he patiently explained the new birth. With the woman caught in adultery, he defended her from stoning, but also told her, "Go and sin no more." Different approaches, same truth, same love. And Paul does the same. He rebukes Peter publicly when the gospel is threatened. But when he is speaking with the Thessalonians, he speaks like a nursing mother, tender, patient, and loving. So Practice means applying wisdom. Sometimes it's a firm rebuke. Sometimes it's a gentle word. And sometimes it's even silence. The Spirit gives us a way to stay rooted in Christ's love, no matter what situation we find ourselves in. What about today? In the church, if leaders compromise the gospel or abuse their authority, confrontation is necessary, friends. But in matters of preference or non-essentials, forbearance preserves the unity. In personal relationships, if a brother or sister stumbles, we look to Galatians chapter 6, verse 1, and that calls us to restore them in gentleness. But if it is a small irritation, love may simply cover it. In public witness, we must speak prophetically against injustice, but not in a way that mirrors the outrage culture that is surrounding us. Our boldness must be shaped by the Beatitudes, not by Twitter feeds. So here's the key takeaway for us, friends. The Bible doesn't call us to be nice or mean. It calls us to be faithful. Courage and gentleness are not opposites. They are spirit-shaped virtues that belong together. Always check yourself. Is my motivation love? Is my goal restoration? Does my method reflect Jesus Christ? If so, whether our words are sharp or soft, spoken or withheld, we will be walking faithfully in the way of Jesus Christ. God bless you, friends. And I hope this helped you think more intently and deeply about how to confront and how to forbear, all while embodying the truth, love, and patience of Jesus Christ. God bless you. See you next time.